Good afternoon, everybody. I have a question that I want to ask everybody, anybody out there. You just tell me if it's wrong or right. And the question I have is, let's say for an example, you have a spouse, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, and let's say that their job is out of state. And ever since they left where they live at, or 2 days after they left, let's just say they've been getting text messages. And for some odd reason, you notice that they've been getting text messages. And so you bring it up. And when you bring it up, my question is, do you think it's inappropriate for him or her to receive text messages from an ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend, or maybe it's just passionate conversation? But the point I'm trying to make is the text messages and phone calls stop after the other person recognized and confronted the boyfriend or the girlfriend that they noticed that they've been communicating and having text messages and conversations with the ex. Now, my point being, this ex used the person, this ex took advantage of the person, this ex obviously was married, this ex basically mistreated the person. So I don't know if that makes sense. Why would the person obviously want to have a conversation or communicate with them? And to me, it makes it very odd and very suspicious if you notice and then it stops. And then the other thing is they were not communicating with that person before they left out of town because they're a travel agent. So maybe you, the person on the other end, maybe you taking things too far, or maybe you overthinking things, or the thing is it inappropriate, or is it crossing boundaries of the simple fact that the other person knows that he or she is with someone? So if he or she is with someone, don't you think that if there was nothing really going on, or if there was nothing really secretive, or maybe nothing to hide, that the other individual should told the girlfriend or the boyfriend, hey, you know what? I know I'm working out of town, or so and so has texted me or called me, because it will make you kind of think. Obviously, if you have to bring it up, it just kind of puzzles if someone do that. And I don't know, maybe some people overreact. Maybe it's more than what it should be, or maybe it's really nothing. Well, if it's really nothing, why don't you think the other person may have not told the person they with? Is it because maybe they might get upset? Maybe they may take things in the wrong way? Or I'm just curious, what opinions do you have, female versus male, whether if it's male or female? My concept is right is right, wrong is wrong. And the other thing is, if the tables was turned, you have to sometimes place yourself in someone else's shoes and kind of think like, if you're on the other side and someone was to do that to you, how would you feel? A lot of us do things and we don't think how we feel. So, it's like maybe the person is trying to tell you something, or maybe they want their cake and eat it too, or maybe there's just a lack of miscommunication. I mean, maybe you're wrong, maybe you're right. In the relationship, a lot of us get confused. But my thing is this: if you're in a relationship and when you try to seek out someone, whether it's man or woman versus man, you have to find someone who can substitute the dynamics that does not exist in your life. And what that means is when you substitute that, is if they can't speak French, or if they can't cook, and whether you do the other or the other, whoever does what, you basically intercept. You basically fulfill those gaps. You basically fulfill what does not exist. And that's how you build a foundation. Because without a foundation, you don't have anything. Communication is one part of it, but you also have to be able to rationalize. You also have to have a direction, and you have to have an understanding of meeting of the mind. Because if you don't have that, then what are you doing? Are you playing house, or are you wasting your time, or bait, or you know? And sometimes men and women are together, and I think what happens sometimes, what I believe is that you have someone that's may have been dysfunctional to where they've been mistreated, to where they think that that's how it's supposed to be, to where they don't value themselves. You know, whether it's a man or woman, you know, they don't value themselves in the sense that they don't they haven't got the grip that they have moved on and not backwards. So it's either you're going to move forward or you're going to move backwards. Because if you obviously are trying to go backwards, then in fairness, you should tell the other person, hey, you know what? I'm trying to go backwards. Or hey, you know what? I'm not ready to move forward. Or hey, you know what? Maybe this ain't what I thought it was. Instead of just stringing the person along and maybe sending you know, it could be you know, like I was saying earlier, you know, if you do, or if you're doing those type of things, it could be a mixed message to the other person, which means in that person's mind, you may just be trying to be friendly, or you may be just be trying to be friendly, or the fact that you can obviously get someone hurt, or you can send the wrong message. And to me, I think it's disrespectful. So if it is disrespectful, and you have the sense to where, you know, my thing is this: it's not so much what you do, it's how you do it. So, you know, if it was me, for example, let's just say if it was me, the way I think is it's not a jealousy thing. It's more disrespectful. It's the concept and principles of what it really means. And it's like someone lying to you. So you better off just saying, look, this is straight up, this is straight out, this is what it is, give it to me straight. Instead of just where you basically taking someone and not really giving them the full scoop. You're giving them vague or not the full answer. And my question is to anybody that's out there, you tell me what your thought is like I said earlier, do you think it's inappropriate to have someone or be with someone to where they're a travel agent and they go out of town, and you really find it very odd that when they go out of town that these text messages or communication phone calls started from the time that they left? So in your mind you would think like, you know, are they hooking up? Or and then you bring it up, and why would it stop all of a sudden? Like, why is it stopped? Or that would prevent me, if it was me, from being angry. So if it was nothing, if there is nothing to it, then they would say, hey, you know what, woman or man, hey, there's nothing going on. You know, we just old buddies, blah blah blah. But don't try to basically like make it to where like it seems suspicious, is what I'm trying to say.